And welcome back to AOA, Agriculture of America, brought to you by Cenex Premium Diesel and Premium Lubricants. Trust your local experts. They'll have the product you need for your equipment on your operation. Go to your nearest Cenex store or visit cenex.com for more. Well, joining us now on the program, excited to learn more about this partnership between Acadian Plant Health and BASF. They have partnered to develop some innovative solutions to combat abiotic stressors and help crops become more resilient to extreme climates. Of course, we have a lot of weather challenges, and they seem to be growing as the years roll along. So very interested to learn more about this partnership. Joining us now for a conversation, he is Senior Vice President for Acadian Plant Health. James Maud is with us here today on the show. And James, thank you for joining us. Appreciate the time. Hope you're doing well.
Yep, good. Thank you very much.
Can you give us a little background on Acadian Plant Health and even your background as well, just to kind of set this up for listeners first?
Yeah, so I'll start with Acadian. So Acadian Plant Health is a family-owned business based in Nova Scotia in Canada. It was originated 40 years ago, around about 40 years ago, by the owner, Louis DeVoe. And he still is active in the company. So family owned, and grew really through three core competencies. The first of which is actually sourcing the harvest itself, the seaweed itself. So sourcing and harvesting, great capability of the company, up and down the east coast of Canada, over into the British Isles and Scandinavia. So quite a large area. In fact, number one in the world at harvesting and extracting from seaweed. The second competency that they really established was the extraction process. So when you deal with biological products as opposed to synthetics, manufacturing and gaining quality and consistency is quite a challenge. They actually manage this very well. So the extraction process is proprietary, and it liberates more active compounds than any other extract processed in the market today. So ability to, first of all, secure the harvest sustainably, and then create extracts, kind of got them down the path a long way. But the third core competency, which was really the change in the market for biostimulants in general, was research. So they invested heavily in research to demonstrate the value proposition, or the mode of action then, of how the seaweed extracts work to stimulate crops. That's been a game changer for the industry. I think snake oil is a perception that's would be understood by most of the agricultural community. That's now changed. We now have science to back up all the value propositions, to clearly demonstrate how the product works and what the benefits of the product are. So three very strong competencies that establish the company as the world number one. And then added to that, more recently, I've joined the company in the last 5 years, but a lot of other management team with me have come really to add the fourth competence, which is market development and product development. So now we come, actually, this management team is from the ag chem sector. So we come with decades of experience of developing ag chem products, actually as solutions for growers. So that's the final competence. It's taken a real climate smart technology and now developing formulations specific to solve problems for growers. It's kind of the next step for the biostimulant industry, and that's what we're involved in now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and thank you for that background, as obviously this ties in well, of course, with this partnership between Acadian and BASF. And so let's dive into that a little bit as you kind of talk, climate smart and biologicals and really looking at how we're adapting to climate change and more across agriculture. Talk about why this partnership is kind of right time, right now, and is going to be really beneficial for growers.
Right. So starting with the technology that we have, it's proven. So it's 40 years in the market. Well, in fact, it's about 7,000 years seaweed's been used in agriculture. Probably the longest standing crop input in the world today. So we've got a proven technology that's now optimized and scalable. Three key things for biologicals that is climate smart. And what we're doing is we're actually now adding that to a high quality ag chem input manufacturer and developer and supplier worldwide. So you put those two things together and now you have the platform to actually bring these climate smart technologies to mainstream agriculture. Before that, if you look before biostimulants have really been understood, there's been little investment and the MNCs have been much more focused on other technologies. But now the timing is right. You talked about why it's the right time. I think we understand a lot more about climate smart needs or sustainable agriculture needs versus continuing to do what we're doing with what you call conventional agriculture. So normal kind of, let's say, cultivation techniques and ag inputs with synthetic fertilizers and crop protection products. We know that system has a limitation, and that limitation is soil health and the future of agriculture. So put that aside for a second, and let's talk about the benefits of bringing these two companies together. So we now know that abiotic stress actually has more impact on crop productivity than biotic stress. So keep those two things separate. Abiotic stress is anything from the environment. So weather effects, whether it be temperature or hydric stress, those things are going on in a much different way than they used to. So the climate's becoming more stressful to crops. In fact, there's new studies that show the balance between biotic and abiotic is about 70% to 30%, which means 70% of your crop productivity is affected by abiotic, environmental stress, versus 30% from weeds, pests, and diseases. So now the grower has this challenge. How do they keep their crops productive with this kind of change in climate stress condition? Well, BASF are well mature in the biotic section. Now we add the abiotic kind of options and technologies to put together. We can actually deliver a full toolbox to growers to help maintain crop productivity and food sustainability.
Well, thinking about the future, obviously, we've been doing so much work and discussion surrounding sustainability and finding new ways to continue to regenerative agriculture or continue to grow our food supply or whatever term you want to throw on this. I think it's a lot of it is really tied together as we just look to continue to be more sustainable when it comes to agriculture across the board. And obviously the technology Acadian has partnered with, to your point, BASF, try to bring some more of these solutions to growers. And you mentioned earlier about market development. So talk about this and maybe give that pitch to growers, so to speak, on how they could work with the two companies here to utilize some of this technology in the future.
Right. So let's set the scene first. So if you look at the UN and what UN and FAO are saying, so 70% more food is required by 2050. by 2050, FAO predicts that 90% of viable fertile soil will be degraded. So we've got a conflict. We need to produce more, and we've actually got way less opportunity to produce it because of the state of soil health. So when I think about agricultural sustainability, it's all in the soil. We in order to truly deliver sustainability and regenerative ag, it's a whole system. So growers need to really look at how they can adopt a full sustainability program on their farm. So we can offer tools that add to that sustainability program, but it's not just it's not a one-shot fix, right? It's the same as how did we get to this state? It's through heavy cultivations and lots of different kind of chemical fertilizers and crop protection inputs. It's a combination of things. Compaction, all those things are actually degrading soil. When I talk about soil health, if you think about the fire triangle, you need ignition, fuel, and oxygen to make fire. Think of the same for soil. You need soil carbon, soil microbes, and water. Those are the three things that keep soil alive. If you don't have soil carbon, the microbes don't have anything to feed on. And when the microbes do feed on carbon, it causes aggregation. Aggregation keeps the soil together. It stops it being eroded and blown away. And essentially that's what's happening. Is soil is degrading and eroding. So what's important is we employ full programs, sustainability programs on farms where we can keep soil alive and healthy. Biostimulants in this kind of scenario are one tool to help you mitigate climate issues, and then we have to focus on soil health to really have sustainability. That's my advice. It's a full program kind of approach, and it requires change. There's quite a lot of change that needs to come to agriculture to get there.
Well, James, really appreciate the insight here. And just in closing, if folks want to learn more about Acadian Plant Health and the partnership with BASF and the great work that you guys are doing, I'm sure if they go on to the Acadian website, that's a great place to start. Things like that. And talk about that. Where can folks get more information, James?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a big education push now to allow people to understand how to use the products and what to expect, right? That's one of the key things. What should they expect from using our technology? Well, there's information on the website. There is a lot of seminars going on around the world, in fact, where we're educating people in the benefits and how to measure them and the expectations. Reach out to us at Acadian, reach out to BASF. There's plenty of opportunity to learn, and there's a lot of material there to access. So.
Mm-hmm. AcadianPlantHealth.com for more. James, anything final you would share before we close out today?
Yeah, I mean, we have an eye on the future. We call it See Beyond. We brand ourselves as See Beyond. So we're looking to develop solutions for other problems in agriculture, including soil health that I talked about a lot. So we've got a development pipeline that positions the technology and other technologies specifically in these areas. So there's more to come from Acadian. There's plenty more to come from BASF, I'm sure. And, we're working together to make farmers more profitable and food more secure.
AcadianPlantHealth.com for more. With that, Senior Vice President for Acadian Plant Health, James Maw. James, thanks for being with us here today on the program. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Jesse.